I have a couple of questions. So one, in a previous transmission a few years ago, you talked about that the reason that there is no heart cancer and that you would talk about it at another time. Yesterday, there was some studies came out that said the coronavirus has an after effect on the heart similar to someone having had a heart attack. And I was wondering if there was anything you could say about the heart and corona.
Remember that the heart is the first resonant reflection of the higher mind for the physical mind. In other words, higher mind delivers vibration, heart reflects the vibration to the physical mind, but then it gets filtered through the belief systems, positive and negative. Corona being a reflection of certain connections and responsibilities to the idea of nature and the degradation of the earth that humanity has created, will influence that particular reflection because of the heart connection that it's important to have to yourselves as an expression of nature. So corona is reflecting the idea that you are now experiencing a filtering from the higher mind to the heart, but from the heart to the physical mind, but through now an extra filter of awareness and responsibility of your connection as nature. And so it's going to create a kind of sense of disconnection, a kind of sense of responsibility energy that needs to be understood, needs to be taken to heart by you in terms of the idea of your connection not to nature, but as an expression of nature, so that you will stop degrading the planet, stop degrading yourselves.
Thank you. That's a wonderful insight. Thank you.
It's about loving yourself and getting a reflection through corona that you haven't been loving yourselves.
Thank you for that information. That's very helpful.
All right.
Another question I have is that there is an Aboriginal Australian prophecy that on the 22nd of December, there will be the activation of a spiritual tool in a particular area in Australia, which will create a final separation between highest thought vibration 5D reality and a continuation of a polarity Earth. And I wonder if that is accurate.
In a sense, yes. It's another way of talking about what we've been talking about the splitting into different parallel realities that's going on your planet. So they're simply recognizing one that is relevant for their interpretation and their understanding, and they're expressing it in those particular terminologies. It's a recognition of the continuing of the splitting of different reality opportunities for you to decide which one you want to align with.
Okay, thank you. I just wondered if I have a counterpart or some kind of strong connection to the Orion Black League energy.
You do.
Is there... It feels very insistent in my consciousness. Is there anything...
That's because you're dealing with the idea of polarity very strongly, which was the theme of exploration of the Orion consciousness millions of years ago. So you're making that connection in order to actually investigate and deal with the issues and the themes of polarity and the Trinity in this life.
Is there any insight that I'm missing?
Well, I already told you. You have to stop thinking of existence in a polarized way and start seeing it as a true balanced Trinity in order to experience the bubble reality of that vibration. That's the balance point. That's the way you transform the darkness into light, is by understanding the frequency and the reality that is expressed as a Trinity by focusing on the balance point between the two polarities.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
It is not an accident. Nothing is. But it is of particular interest to note that it is not an accident when you deal with the idea of polarity being dark and light, that the beings that are aiding in creating a transformational hybridization agenda are gray.
Yeah.
It's not an accident. Ponder that.